Hey everybody, it's Ecap here, and welcome to This Week in WoW for the week of August 1st, heading into August now. Let's go ahead and start with the Mythic Plus affixes as per usual. This week we have Tyrannical, Incorporeal, and Spiteful. Again, that's Tyrannical, Incorporeal, and Spiteful. These are some whopping affix combos this week. With Incorporeal, obviously that's one of the least liked ones. Spiteful, bad for melee more than ranged. And then Tyrannical, of course. People don't like Tyrannical bosses, generally speaking, although there are some dungeons that are probably easier on Tyrannical, to be completely fair. This is not a fun, push week, right? It's not a fun week for even pug keys, because in my opinion, the Incorporeal Afflicted, while my spec Ret Paladin can deal with both of those pretty well, this is not a great affix for pugs either yet, and maybe never will be, I don't know. But definitely not a great week, especially when you come off of a few weeks in a row that are really good weeks. Last week we had Fortified Bolstering, which is a step down from that, and now the Tyrannical and Corporeal Spiteful, especially for melee players. This is a huge step down this week as far as it's a huge step up in difficulty, a step down as far as wanting to do the keys. So this is a bit rough. Maybe we'll see some more tuning on, especially Incorporeal and Afflicted or something like that. I'm not sure. I don't necessarily think they're hard. I just think that they ask more from the pug community, especially than what is normally asked from them. And so I just don't know if it'll ever particularly work out the way they want it to. But again, I handle it fairly well myself, but other people not so much, at least from my experience. So we'll see. But this does not appear to be the best push week or whatever, the best week to push up your keys or to be going for new personal records and things along that line. Let's go ahead and talk about what's going on in game this week. We actually do have some things coming in game this week as we get into August. August is a much more fun looking month than July was. So this week we do have the Trial of Style going on. This is for the entire week, Tuesday to Monday. Trial of Style, of course, if you don't know, is you queue at the Transmogrifier person. They might have added to where you can queue in the Looking for group as well. You go into the Trial of Style. It gives you a title, a thing you're supposed to dress as, essentially. And a motif, maybe you would call it. I don't even know if that's the correct word. And you would you change your transmog to look like that, and then people judge each other, and you get tokens. The more if you get first place, you get more tokens, that kind of thing. And then there's some transmog items and stuff you can buy from that. I always think it's pretty fun. I did it the last time it was around. They added new footwear items to the game, especially I believe it was for classes that normally have hooves and stuff like that, where they could actually wear shoes, and I went and got all those. So I don't think they added more stuff to it this time, so I don't know how much I'm going to participate in it, but I normally go into it a couple times at least and try out some transmogs. I don't have any really new cool ones, I guess, but I think it's a cool event, and it's, again, just one of those things where they could expand on it even more if they wanted to. They could have a 20-person version instead of I think it's 6 people. They could have a 20-man version of it, or a 40-man version of a mega one that only you have to have a certain amount of tokens to even get into it or something. They could make it a whole big thing. I'll put it that way, and a certain portion of the player base would completely eat it up. I guarantee you that. Towards the end of the week, we will be getting into the Darkmoon Fair. So once again, Darkmoon Fair. I think it is getting some revamps and stuff, but not yet. But hopefully soon. Soon TM would be nice. Whether that's in the next patch, 10.2.5, 10.2.7, whatever. I would love to see some updates to the fair. But for now, you can still do the old achievements. You can get the old mounts, the pets. Of course, the more maybe apt thing for Dragonflight is to go there, get your profession knowledge. As always, you go there and do that. I'm a huge proponent of the Darkmoon Fair, so anything good about the Darkmoon Fair, I'm always going to be pretty excited about, and can't wait for updates to come to it at some point, and expanding upon it in some way would be pretty great, because again, I think actually the Darkmoon Fair is a perfect thing that can actually encapsulate a large portion of the player base. Not just a niche version of the player base, because I think a lot of people who play MMOs just naturally kind of like mini games in a lot of ways, and so if you had these mini games in the game that had some, had a feel of your character doing it, for example, maybe like a jump puzzle or something like that. Jump puzzles added. That's something that a lot of players like. Maybe you added something like that to one of them where you're actually jumping with your character on these puzzles that they create. They could even make them like 2D or something. It kind of fits the Darkmoon Fair theme. Anyways, without going too far into it, I would just love to see some expansion there. Other than that, this week, we have, obviously, it's the beginning of the month, so we have a new Traders Post coming out. I don't think there's anything like hyper exciting about August, but there is some pretty big news that was actually coming out like right before I was making this video, and that is that there's going to be class sets on the Traders Post. So maybe there will be cool stuff this month and you'll want to buy that, but if there's not, it might be worth trying to save your tender if you like these class sets. Each class is going to have a set come out. I don't know if it's a full set, if it's just like helm, shoulders, and belt or something. I don't know. It didn't look like it was a full. It didn't look like it had like chest armor and stuff like that. But it's like these mini class sets, I'll call them, based on what I was just reading. And there'll be like 3 per month, and it'll be like the first one I know has Paladin in it. The first one's in September, and it has Paladin in it. And so if you want to get all of these, if you like all of them, you'll want to kind of save tender to make sure that you get them all as they come out or whatever. But that's completely up to you. Maybe you only want your main character set. Maybe you don't even give a crap. Then you don't give a crap. But if you do care about, if you think they look cool or whatever, then again, just be weary, be informed that these are going to be coming out. I think it's like September, October, November, and then I guess December. I guess there'd have to be 4 months of it. I'd have to go back and read the article again, but they'll be coming out like a few each month basically until all the classes are done. So that's something to keep in mind there with the Trader's Tender. We have all kinds of cool things coming out this month. Later on this month, and then we're going to be getting into the new holidays, which I'm super excited for as we go into like the coming months. So this is a lot more of an exciting time for like a casual player to play, because there's like these like little things to do inside the game, not just end game stuff. When it comes to end game stuff, I can happily say that we are finally on Mythic Sarkareth, and progressing. We just got a few pulls into phase 1 essentially, but I think a few of us, I know I can say for myself, a few of us kind of learned phase 1 already, and as more people learn phase 1, and the more people will survive into phase 2, and so on and so forth. That's just kind of how it works. But I'm very excited to get this raid completed, another cutting edge in the books, and hopefully be able to re-clear a little bit. I can also say on a personal level, I was very lucky enough to get my 450 sword from Echo of Neltharion, so very thankful for my guild for that, and just was super excited about it. Honestly, it's one of my favorite things. Honestly, well, for whatever, I'm still in some ways I'm still the kid that originally started playing the game. And getting the cool weapon, getting the big weapon is always just kind of feels neat. And so being able to get that, getting it first, and there's other people in the guild that deserve it as well. Getting it first is just, it does mean a lot to me personally. So I was like super excited about that for sure. So I think that's about it for this week though. Like I said, decent amount of stuff to do this week, and decent amount of stuff to do going forward. And definitely just kind of I've been enjoying the casual parts of the game. I'm very casually playing the game right now. I'm not even like doing end game stuff that much. If you notice, I haven't been doing many Rep Paladin videos. Last week I didn't do very many videos for a different reason. I'm not going to get into that, the personal reason, but I haven't been doing many Rep Paladin videos because honestly there's not a ton of end game stuff that's interesting me right now. I've been farming Rep in my time rifts when I can get on at the hour, and playing with my son, and very casually enjoying the game actually, which is nice. It's always nice when that is the case. That usually means the game's in a pretty good state. So that's it for this one. As always, I do ask you to please subscribe to the channel. Helps me out a lot. And other than that, everybody have a good one.